Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in today because we're going to be talking about quick fixes, things that you can do when something in your game goes wrong, whether it's during a match or during practice. I've got the quick fix for you. We're going to be moving fast, so make sure you take notes and you're ready to go. Well, you're playing a match and all of a sudden you can't get your serve up over the net. It keeps hitting the tape. What can you do? Well, in this situation, you need to use your legs. You need to focus in on your legs. You need a really deep knee bend and you need to use all that energy and go up into the ball, because when you use your legs and you focus on going up through the shot, that is going to clear the net every time. Okay, now I'm going to talk to those of you that may be serving long. You can't figure out how to get that ball into the service box. Well, I got a fix for you, because what you're going to do is you're going to focus in on the top of the tennis ball. You're going to take your eyes, you're going to stare at the top of that ball. Why? Because when you stare at the top of the ball, you're going to hit where you're looking. And when you hit over the top of the ball, that is going to bring your ball into the service court. So you've been working on your slice serve, but you haven't had any luck at actually getting that ball to turn and slide off the court. Well, here's your fix. Start with underhand slicing. And then you're going to work your way up. So you're working your way from low to high, finishing up over your head. And before you know it, you're going to have a great slice serve. As you can see, we're moving fast, so stay with me. How do you get more power on your serve? Well, I'll show you how to get more power. You're going to take the ball and you're going to line drive it into the back of the fence. You're going to hit it as hard as you can. You cannot rainbow that serve. You got to do a line drive right into the fence. That's going to give you the power. And then how do you get that power in? You start aiming for the net tape. By aiming for the net tape, that is going to bring your ball down into the service court, and you're going to have a bigger serve than you've ever had before. Okay, so now we're moving on to the return. You've been playing doubles and your opponent keeps cutting across the court and taking that poach because you can't keep the ball out of the middle of the court. Well, how do you keep it out of the middle? I'll show you. You start hitting the outside edge of the ball. You get that racket on the outside edge, which is going to pull it cross court. But that's not all you do. You also move your contact point out in front of you. By moving the contact point out in front and hitting the outside edge of the ball, that ball is going to shoot cross court and that opponent won't have a chance to poach. Okay, so you're facing a big server and you can't seem to figure out how to get enough balls in play. Well, I'm going to show you how. If you were on the deuce side, you're going to drop back 6 feet, and for every 6 feet you drop back, you're going to move to the right 3 feet, and you're going to cut off the angle. That's why it's so important to also move to the right. You would do the opposite on the ad side. Before you know it, you're going to be getting more returns back in the court. Your footwork's been kind of lazy. You haven't been moving your feet enough. Well, I've got a drill for you. So try to keep every single ball at your waist height. By keeping every ball at the waist height at contact, it's going to force you to move your feet like never before. Pretty soon, you're going to have outstanding footwork. Okay, so in this situation, you're in a match and you've been missing your forehand long, and now you're starting to get nervous. You're starting to get tentative. But wait, don't get tentative yet. Instead, as you take your racket back, make sure that your racket face is pointed out towards the side of the court so you can see through it. By doing that, when you take the racket down and go to swing through the shot, the racket face is going to close off and it's going to prevent you from hitting the ball long. Okay, so let me talk to those of you that have the opposite problem. You're hitting the net. You can't seem to get that ball up over the net. What do? Well, you hit the practice court. You put out a high rope. By having a high rope over the net, it's going to force you to pick that ball up over the rope, and it's going to show you how to pay attention to your net clearance. By being aware of your net clearance, you will make more balls up over that net. You're hitting your two-handed backhand, and for whatever reason, the ball keeps coming up short. Your opponent steps in and hits it for a winner. What can you do? Well, here's what you can do. You can draw a triangle. As I come through and I finish this backhand right here, the butt cap creates the top of the triangle. My two elbows create the bottom of the triangle. By doing that right here, that's going to give you height on the ball, and height equals depth. Okay, now we're moving on to the volley. You're struggling to finish volley points. Why is that? Well, maybe you're using the wrong volley. For this situation, you got to think about the weight room. You got to think about that butterfly press. The butterfly press goes like this. Well, we're going to use that idea. You're going to set your racket right beside you here, and you're going to cut in front of your body. By using that style of volley, it's going to prevent you from taking the racket too far back and spraying the ball long, but it's going to allow you to add length to it, which is going to help you put that ball away. You're learning how to hit a slice volley, but you keep popping it up. Why is that? Well, maybe you're not using a focal point. So here's what you do on a slice volley. Make sure you start up above the ball. But as you hit that slice, I want you to try to hit the top of the tape. This is very similar to your slice. By trying to aim for the top of the tape, that is going to bring that slice volley lower into the court. You want pinpoint accuracy with your volley? Well, I'll show you how. Every time you go to finish your volley, you need to hold that finish. Why would you hold the finish? Because you need to ensure that you're hitting a straight line towards your target. Most people go wrong when they take swings across their body on their volley. They don't use a straight line. So next time you hit the court, hold your volley finish, you'll be pinpoint accurate. You're trying to figure out how to hit your slice deep in the court. How are you going to do it? Well, I'll show you how you're going to do it. You're going to bring the racket way back like this, straight arm, and you're going to look over your shoulder. By looking over your shoulder like this, that allows for length, and length always equals depth. You really want to learn to use your slice, but you're a little bit tentative because you keep popping the ball up. What can you do? Well, you try to hit the white tape. You try to hit that white tape that goes across the net. By trying to hit that, it's going to change your focal point and it's going to keep the ball much lower. Before you know it, you're going to have a great slice that stays low in the court. Okay, so now we're on to the overhead. You're having trouble with your overhead. You can't quite figure out the timing or figure out the court position. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your hands, you're going to put them on your chest like this. You cannot move them off of your chest. Have someone toss a ball up into the air. You're going to work your feet until you can catch that ball right on your chest. By doing that, it does two things. It shows you how much you actually got to move your feet, and two, it shows you the path that the ball must take in order for you to hit a successful overhead. Okay, now we're on to our last two tips, and the last two tips are based on strategy. The first is singles strategy. You've wanted to jump into singles, but you don't have a basic strategy to go by. Well, here's what you do. You hit the majority of your balls cross court, but not only that, you don't recover to the middle when you're hitting the ball. If I hit that ball cross court, I'm going to go to the opposite side that I hit the ball to. You're going to go about one racket distance to the opposite side of the court that you hit to. By doing that, it's going to allow you to cut off more of the angles, and you're going to have more success in your singles match. Wow, we did it. Now we're on to number 20 of our quick fixes, and this is double strategy. In this basic double strategy, you really can't go wrong. If you know this, you're going to have great success in your doubles game. Here's what you got to know. You're facing somebody that's one up, one back, so your opponents are one up, one back. When they hit a ball down low to you, you're going to keep the ball away from that person that is up at net. You're going to push it all the way to the back of the court, and you're going to wait for a better ball. Eventually, they're going to hit you a higher ball. And when you do that, you're going to choose to change the direction. And now you're going to take that high ball, you're going to take it towards the net person's side of the court. By figuring out that kind of strategy, you're going to win so many more points, and it will put you in the driver's seat of doubles. Whew, we did it. We got through all 20 quick fixes for your tennis game, and I know there's something in there that you can use. So take a moment, subscribe to this channel, hit the like button for this video right here, and I'll see you again on the next one.